I'm currently at Samsung Unpacked 2025 in New York. This is my first time in New York, by the way, checking out the Z Fold 7 and the Z Flip 7. And if it wasn't enough getting the amazing Fold 7 upgrades, the $1,100 Flip 7 is getting some really nice changes too. Samsung is seeing this as a pocket-perfect AI device, but there's actually way more to it than that. So here are the 10 biggest changes when it comes to the Z Flip 7. Also, if you're looking to pre-order the Z Flip 7 or the Fold 7, you can use the link below to get a 512GB version for the price of the 256, plus up to $1,200 in savings. Also, it supports the channel while helping you save a ton of money on the Z Fold 7 or the Z Flip 7. Okay, so I won't make you wait for the biggest change, and that is the improved cover screen. The bezels on this look insane. It's honestly unreal how it completely fills the cover screen. This is as edge-to-edge as I've ever seen on any phone. They're over 70% thinner than the one seen on the Flip 6, measuring only 1.25 millimeters. These are the thinnest bezels ever on a Samsung phone. It's now a 4.1-inch display rather than the 3.4-inch on the Flip 6, which is a considerable increase for a single-generation jump. Now, the Flip 7 does include the cameras in this, which do take up a fair bit of space, but the aspect ratio has also changed slightly, which adds to this larger size. Now, the metal frame towards the hinge is now much thinner too, essentially maximizing the potential display here. But yeah, it's honestly amazing to look at. The bezels and the frame, they're both so thin. This display is awesome. And it also looks very futuristic. I'd say even more so than the Fold 7. So using this half-sized phone is now easier and better than ever. Any app will run on this display. Even YouTube, by the way, you can watch videos on this. You can also have loads of widgets. And then you can also have Now Brief, which is available on this display. And of course, the best part is that now you've also got a huge viewfinder for that main camera and the ultra-wide. So taking photos with this is now better than ever. This display is also now brighter at 2600 nits, same as the inner screen. And also at a 120Hz refresh rate. So whilst this outer screen may look similar to the one on the Moto Razr 60 Ultra, Samsung, I would say they've taken it a step further, with a thinner frame and a much thinner bezel. I would say in this flip-specific market, Samsung have definitely taken the crown here. And the display changes don't stop here, as the inner display has also changed quite a bit. Now, the bezels aren't thinner on the inside, but the aspect ratio has changed, meaning that it's now wider, although not that much taller, which means that it will feel much more like a normal phone to use. In fact, it does feel quite similar to the S25 Ultra now, which makes sense since this display is now 6.9 inches, just like the S25 Ultras. Not quite as wide, but close. So viewing content and especially typing will be much easier on this new internal screen. Now, if the improvement to the size and the usability of the displays wasn't enough, the Flip 7 is also thinner than before. It is now 6.5mm from the previous 6.9, and yeah, it just feels really thin in the hand. Essentially, this is now the thinnest phone, aside from the S25 Edge, that Samsung has ever released. And that's the thing, the previous Flip wasn't necessarily thick, but shaving another 0.4mm is just great. Now, on top of all this, we also get some durability enhancements. So we still have the same water resistance as before, which is IP48, but we now got a new Armor Flex hinge that's meant to be 10% tougher, whilst also enabling this thinner design. It's still using the same armor aluminum on the outside as before, so the main improvements are mostly internal here. And speaking of internals, Samsung has now removed that rubber seal that allowed the phone to be water resistant, and instead, they've now applied a resin coating to the whole internals. And I would say that this should result in a more reliable water resistance. Plus, this is also why this phone can be quite a bit thinner. However, when it comes to dust resistance, unfortunately, this is still the same as before, hence the 4 in the IP48 rating. Now, aside from all of this, there are also a couple of unique features that the Flip 7 now gets. For example, this is now the first Flip to support DeX, Samsung's desktop experience, which is likely going to be very helpful for some people here. DeX is of course a bit niche, but if you had a use case, then you would absolutely love being able to use DeX on the Flip as well. Also, the navbar from One UI 7 is now available on the outer display too, so you'll see your live updates and other relevant information directly on the cover. Then Gemini Live also comes to the cover display, as it can now be loaded directly from here. And even more than that, it can also tap into those front cameras. So, you could be trying out some clothes and then simply ask Gemini what does it think of that. And now there's even more customization for this display with some new backgrounds, some new fonts, and some new animations. Lastly, there are also some auto-curated wallpapers that you can tap into, although they're not the highest quality, which is something that we do have in our own app, Wallpapers, where we offer the highest resolution wallpapers on the market. 1x1 8K made by our designers. And with over 200 plus free 8K wallpapers, and also no ads, by the way, there's literally no better place for wallpapers than Wallpapers. Link down below. Okay, now one detail that isn't such great news is when it comes to the cameras. We get the exact same 50 megapixel main camera as before, and then also that 12 megapixel ultra-wide. These sensors are fine, although nothing special, as they are quite old at this point. We've had them for quite a few years now. The main sensor does get a 2x sensor crop zoom, which is now aided by a bit more AI, but this isn't going to make a massive difference. The front camera is also the same 10 megapixel sensor as before, but as it's so easy to take selfies with the main cameras, I don't think that's that big of an issue. There's now also a zoom slider, and you can apply filters from this outer display. Plus, you also have these tiny little rings around the cameras to indicate timers or recording video. And while there is a brand new Pro Visual Engine here, I don't think this will make such a big difference. I will be testing out the camera more, so do stay tuned for that. But really, these camera sensors are not that new, so hopefully with the Flip 8 next year, we will see some new camera hardware. The main focus with the cameras this year has just been making the modules more compact so that they can fit in this thinner chassis, while of course maintaining the same quality. Now, one change that I did hope the Fold 7 was going to get was a larger battery. Unfortunately, it did not get that, but the Flip 7 did. It now comes with a 300 mAh larger battery than the one in the Fold 6, which combined with the less power-hungry Exynos 2500 chip, we now get a total of 31 hours of video playback compared to 24 on the Flip 6, which is a pretty significant upgrade. And I gotta say, when you consider that this is also a thinner device with a lot of internal improvements, well, having a significantly improved battery life is really impressive, even more so when you consider that this is not silicon carbon. Unfortunately, the charging speeds do remain the same as the Flip 6 at 25 watts, so there's no improvement here. Now, as I mentioned, the Flip 7 is losing the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chip, and instead, it is now using the Exynos 2500. This is the latest Exynos chip from Samsung, which I would say does hold its own compared to the 8 Elite and the Fold 7, only lacking a tiny bit in the CPU department. And it seems like this chip, like I said, it does bring that much better battery life, which of course is also given by the 300 mAh extra capacity on the Flip 7. So realistically, I wouldn't say that this chip is really a downgrade. It's certainly not an upgrade. I would say it's pretty much the same as before, if not even slightly better. Now, let's talk about colors. For a fashionable device like the Flip 7, you would hope that it would come in some really nice colors. And I would say definitely does. The default jet black is my favorite choice because, I'm a sucker for black. But then the blue shadow that I've got right here does look pretty stunning too, with this nice navy blue finish and slight shine to the back. There's also the online exclusive mint, which is subtle but clean, being a very pastel shade. Although the real winner, I would say, is definitely the new coral red. This looks seriously punchy, not just in these shots, but also in person. And when you combine that with, a nice looking wallpaper, then I feel like this is such a nice looking device. It is a shame that a silver shadow has been removed from the Flip 6, as that was a really nice color as well, although it has been retained on the Fold 7. Now, Motorola's collaboration with Pantone does give their Razr 60 some beautiful colors, although I would say these Flip 7 ones are really nice as well. Let me know if you have a preference in terms of either the Moto colors or the Flip colors. And lastly, something that the Fold 7 may have benefited from is the release of an FE model. This is the Flip 7 FE, and it's essentially a rebranded Flip 6 with the same folder-style cover screen, the same old aspect ratio, and the same flat sides. The difference is that we now get the older Exynos 2400 rather than the previous 8 Gen 3, and the storage now starts at 128. Also, you only have two colors to pick from, silver black. The cameras are the same, the battery's the same, however, it is cheaper for just $900 now, so $200 less than the Flip 7. And that being said, you can probably get a Flip 6 for even less than this, so I would say definitely double check your options. So what do you guys think of Samsung's latest foldables? I'm personally really happy to see that Samsung's finally bringing some true innovation to not just the Fold series, but also the Flip series. I do believe that the Flip especially looks super futuristic, and then, the Fold is incredibly thin and finally as thin as the Chinese competitors. Really, the only two things missing that would make these devices absolutely perfect would be 1, silicon carbon, and 2, better camera hardware, especially on the Flip. But hey, don't forget, if you're looking to pre-order a Z Flip 7 or a Fold 7, you can use the link below to get a 512GB version for the price of the 256, plus up to $1,200 in extra savings. Check out the Fold 7 video right here, and stay tuned for more Flip and Fold videos in the coming days. I'm Daniel, this is ZONEofTECH, and I'll see you guys in the next one. ZONEofTECH, signing out. Cheers.